So often people will say the mental load is made up. It's not real. What are you talking about? So here's a real life example of what the mental load looks like in action in the real world. One of my followers DM'd me today and she said, Paige, this just happened to me and I had to tell you. She asked her partner for help with something. Her son had bike day at school. They were allowed to bring their bicycles to school and ride around with their friends. And she said to her partner, can you please put the bike stuff in the car? And her partner said, sure, just remind me. First and foremost, if you're having to ask your partner to remind you to do something that you're agreeing to help them with, it's not actually helpful. But regardless, he says, sure, I'll put that stuff in the car. So day of, she assumes he's done his part of the job. The bike is in the car. She can see the bike. And so she brings her child to school. Well, she gets to school and there's no helmet. Right? And I think most of us understand that if you have bike day at school, you also need to bring the helmet with the bike. Well, Dad didn't bring the helmet. And so she had to drive home 20 minutes, get the helmet, drive back 20 minutes, bring it to school, and now she's 40 minutes late for work. And when she brought it up to her partner said, oh, well, you didn't tell me that. You said the bike. But as mothers, we're always thinking about the things that go with the bike. If my kid is riding their bike, my kid needs their helmet. Those two things go together. Doing the full task, knowing the full task, that is the mental load. By putting the bike in the car, he did one thing, but it wasn't actually helpful. It actually caused more work for her. Knowing all the things your kid needs, knowing why they need them is part of it. Knowing that bike day means helmet too is the mental load, okay? And this is why, let this just be a PSA. If you're saying yes to a birthday party, that means there has to be a present. If you're saying yes to bike day, that means there needs to be a helmet. If you're saying yes to going to the beach, they don't just wear a bathing suit, they probably also need a towel and maybe some snacks and some beach toys, right? Everything has other things tied to it. And so if you're saying yes to doing something, ask yourself, if my kid's riding their bike, do they need their helmet? Because the answer is probably yes. And it's doing that work that so many women are asking for from their partners that actually makes a difference. Doing the simple task of putting the bike in the car is not helpful when you didn't do the work of thinking about all the things that go with the bike. Because I think most men would assume that, like, I'm putting the bike in the car, I should put the helmet. And if not, I'm going to ask my partner and then I'm going to put the helmet in because of course they need the helmet.